So online, you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thanks for confirmation, Amma. Okay, so we can write. Huh? Everyone need to go early. Okay. Which batch, Amma? Aiden, I'm not seeing you. The sequel. No, sequel started, right? Okay. Triple one and triple two. Double one and triple one and 112. Both are having the same. 110, huh? Okay. So fine. Okay. So this is maybe who's not done with the SQL is a little advanced. So please try to understand. Who's are completed the SQL, they can easily understand. But here it doesn't matter you know the SQL or not. That is what I'm trying to proving here. Right? Means learning a SQL and BI tools is a way to at least we can behave like a one validator or tester when you're using the AI, right? So the intention is very simple. So in the future, we need to use the AI. There is no chance to skip off this. So companies itself is forcing you to use the AI. So, and definitely you guys are also going to use the AI, correct? Yes, sir. Right? Because we don't want it to take that much stress on our brains. But there is a problems also will be there when you use the AI. So that problems we should able to understand when we see that, or when whatever it is generated an output, once we is validated through us. The expectation of the companies right now is a data analyst, right? Whatever I'm trying to creating, okay, it's not coming down. You guys are seeing Shah Rukh Khan, but you guys are not asking me presentation. Where is the presentation, sir? Hmm. Okay. So the companies are expecting anyhow AI is going to do that. So what you guys are going to do it here. So you guys are going to do very simple thing here. It is to validate. Is the AI generated one is a correct or not? If it is a wrong, how we need to tell to the AI to correct it again to regenerate the dashboard. Regenerate the dashboard. That is the role is going to be there in our future. So obviously, let's see this. If I'm telling to someone, when I'm trying to educating to someone about the how the dashboard has to be, first I should be expert, aware card, sir, right? So let's say you don't know this, how to repair the bike. Are you going to tell to mechanic how to repair? You're saying that I aware is different, repair is different, right? So here the role is very simple in the future, means in the coming years, our role is going to be simple. You need to work with the AI. AI, your assistant. AI is going to be your assistant. Previously, no employee until you have some level of experience, the people are not coming under you. Now, from the day one itself, when you started the job, even as a fresher, you're going to have an assistant. That assistant is nothing but AI, right? So that AI is going to do the job what you're going to say, because that does not going to have any feelings. Even if you scold it, it's going to say that I don't know that meaning until you give the context or what is that meaning of that words. The AI will not understand you. So technically, what is going to happen? AI is a kind of where we are making them to train by using our data to create a dashboard. or to create a model or to write a Python code, right? Or to create a project. Whatever you wanted to do that, what is happens? It has to perform it. To perform it, it requires the knowledge. It requires the knowledge on the data. So that we have to give it. That we have to give it. How we can give it? First, we should expertise. First, we should be expert on those. Then only we can going to tell how it is going to be works with the examples. With the examples that we are calling here it is skill. Correct, right? Even for a humans in IT industry, what they will say, do you have the skill? Correct, right? Similarly, we need to give that skill to which one? AI. To give that skill, you should be expert. Otherwise, you can't. So here, now what is happening? So previously, learning the SQL and BI is okay as a fresher. Now, under you, there is an assistant is coming for you. Learning is not sufficient. You should be expertise on those. Then only you can teach or you can guide someone below who you are. Agreeda kada? లేదంటే not agreeda. Agreeda? Pakka, confident. Lock kar dijiye. Huh? So make sure that now here I'm going to be built a data AI data analyst. I'm not making you the surprises. You may be seeing a lot of places. AI is doing that job. AI is doing that job. AI doing this thing. So you guys also need to start, right? Understand it how the AI is doing, how that AI is working, at least the basic level of it. And accordingly, in the future, if you need to work in your organizations, you need to know how to apply those techniques. Clear? So that is the major important here. Persons will need to be there. Without a person, AI can't do that. AI, someone has to tell what it has to do that. AI does not have a brain. That brain we need to give it. That what kind of a brain it is? Static brain. What kind of a brain it is? Static. Our brains are huh? Random or dynamic? Dynamic brains. Correct. Let's say if a girl is came and give this rose, what you're going to do? No, no, don't give me. Are you going to say like this? Huh? You'll take that rose and smell it. Huh? Give it back up. Right? See, this is what. So humans have, based on a situation, they knows it how to respond it. But AI agents does not have that capability. That we need to tell that how it has to behave it when the situation is arrives. But only the problem for us and AI is memory. What is that? Memory. We definitely humans have negligence. Correct, right? Right? Let's say I ask one question to someone. Sir, do you have a girlfriend? Pakka. You have ex? Hey. So this is a negligence. Correct, right? Sir, do you have a ex? Pakka. Sir, present? Come on, guys. What happened to you? Huh? Back bencher se kada? Front benches. Front, huh? Okay, middle, huh? Okay. So jokes apart, let's see that. So if you ask you about it, let's say your friend date of birth, can you able to remember some of them? for some of the years only. Correct, right? After marriage, see what is the problem here? It is memory, but missions does not have that issue. Until those crash those hardware components, we don't have any issue with the memory. Memory is still with that hardware itself. Can I say this hard disk is a hardware? SSD is a hardware,
Yes.
right? RAM is a hardware. Motherboard is a hardware. Processor is a hardware. Correct, right? So these are all works through this what? Memory. So this AI agents is have a memory, but with that, they have a hallucination also, how the humans have it. How the humans have it. Let's say you are have a 50% of knowledge on the data. If I ask the question, what you're going to do? Remaining 50%, you're going to fill with your own thing. You're going to say that is your assumption, or it may that way, or you're going to be try to make it as generalized based. Correct, right? Am I correct or not? Let's say I'm going to ask you what is a DQL. What's the answer? So it means data query language. That's it. Then సార్ నిన్ననే చెప్పాను కదా సార్ మొన్ననే మీరు వస్తున్నారు కదా ఆ, నా పరువు తీసేస్తున్నారు సార్ మీరు వాట్ ఈస్ అ డిక్యూఎల్ సార్ data query language in a SQL. This is a one of the part where try to read the data and transform it in which format we wanted. It's have an ability to transform the data. Correct or not? Transform means it is not going to be impact on the original source. Right, right. That's how. That's how we call it as DQL have an ability of to generate a derived table. Derived table. So this is the expectation answer. But because of this lot of hallucinations, what is happens? Either no answer or different answer. So AI also going to have the same situation. AI agents also. That's how we need to make sure that, right? When you are giving a skill to the AI agent, try to give that 100% correct information, accurate information, accurate information. When you give this, there is no hallucination. Hallucination still will be there. Hallucination still will be there. Then how we need to reduce is the matters here. Okay, that's once you started working with this AI agents, you guys are understand. So, but for now, just trying to give an idea about it, how this AI agents will work. Let's say AI agents is nothing but virtual humans. Let's say consider as virtual humans. A human will not be there, but human will be there. Correct, sir? So that's what, right? That will be performed by your computer or another computer or another server. Server is nothing but another remote computer. Correct, right? So we are trying to be understanding on every session. Server is nothing but another remote computer. Now, so that's how. Let's try to understand what is a AI agent. What is a AI agent? What is a AI agent? AI plus agent. Suvarna Dirkasanna. What is AI agent?
Some of the
Okay, sir. But at least when you see this picture, can able to tell a brain. See, if you see this, a brain, memory, tools. What are the things we have it here? Memory, brain, tools. Those are tools only, right? Yeah. So tools will handle all these together. By which one? AI agent. Right? Means which one can plan it and act something. Plan it and act something means perform a task. Perform a task. Right? That we call it as AI agent. It is have an ability to plan it. Planning, how it has to execute that task. It's going to be create the plan. That plan, it is going to be execute step by step with the help of tools. Correct, right? I'm going to ask you to build, there is a table. To build a table, what you require? Sir, general questions, sir. Why you have so much
Wood
talking?
is required.
Wood, then would only sufficient to make a tool to
Wood
make.
and tools.
We required a tool. That's sufficient. Now, right? Plan. It requires the plan. By using the plan, what you're going to do? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, right? Step 7, and in step 8, your stool is ready. Your table is ready. Correct or not? So that is what going to do what? AI agent. So AI agents have the ability of planning and execution with the help of memory, LLM, and tools. So hope you guys are understanding what is the AI agent. Right? It's not something else. It's a something it is going to be perform the task here. Now let's see this. That's what agent thinks and act. What is meant by agent will do? It will going to know that what it has to do that, what it should not do that. Now, how the agent will know that all this stuff? From where it will come? Memory. It will come from memory. This memory someone has to process, right? So who's that? Brain. That brain we call it as here it is LL. Right? So now whatever the brain is used those memory and tell to this agent to plan accordingly and try to execute it with the help of tools. That's what here you guys can see in this. Right? So LLMs are, let's say this is one of the LLM. So this LLM have an instructions, have a conversations, have an articles, have a books, and also code. All these things we call it as memory. Memory which is given to who? LLM. LLM means okay. Large language model. Okay. That is what it stands for. I asked what is LLM? Huh? It's a brain. What type of brain? Smart brain. It's a smart brain, but it is a static. It's a static. What is meant by static? Let's say I trained the model with a huge data 2 years back ago, 2 years ago. So then they came as a LLM, large language. It's also part of a data science itself, nothing but model, right? Whatever you guys are seen as a very small models in a data science. But when you're coming into the large model, it's with the huge data, very huge data. Means accordingly, the size of this model is approximately in a GBs. 4.3 GB, 9 GB, 12 GB, 44 GB, 64 GB. That much size will be there. Understand, sir? So means you train that model by using a huge data. Correct? That is happened 2 years back ago. Now, if I go and ask the LLM, what is the today date? What is going to tell? 2 years back date, because it's a static. What's your name, sir? Which batch? I'll remember, sir. So it is a static. So clear, sir? So that's what. So means it does not know that what is the happening now. That's a dynamism. LLMs does not have that ability. It's a smart. It's a smart brain, but it's a static. Hope you guys are understood. So this smart brain, how it is happened? Because of the conversations, instructions, articles, books, code, whatever you wanted. Give all these data, make it as a model. Whenever your data is increasing on this model, your model size is also will increase. So generally, here we use this, a terminology, we used it, tokens. What is that? Tokens. Right? So the tokens are going to be help us to understand, to tell what is the context. What is the context? What is the intent? And what is the meaning? To whom? Computer. To whom? Computer. Because where it is going to be executes? Computer. Where? Processor. So that's how in the markets, when you try to execute these LLMs by using the CPU, it's a slower. It's a slower. So that's how the people saying that GPUs. The people use the word is GPUs are TPUs. GPUs are TPUs, right? Where it can perform this a multiple tasks at a time, multi-threading. CPU is very, very limited. We know that. But GPUs are faster because all the gamers can understand the power of GPU and CPU. Anyone have a gaming laptops? Why specifically when you're purchasing a gaming laptop, they will say that, sir, graphics card is there, sir. Correct or not? What is the graphic card? GPU. That is a GPU, right? So it is able to process, right, at a time. That's how 64-bit, 128-bit possibles in the market. Clear, sir? So who's the most GPUs provider in the market? NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the topmost, means there's other players also there, but their most production is doing by the NVIDIA. Clear, sir? So now for the AI segments, Google is come up with this another chip called TPU. What is that? TPU for AI purpose only. GPU is a general purpose for graphics, for videos, for games. It's not for made for AI. But NVIDIA take that an advantage because GPUs are faster for cryptocurrency and AI compared with the CPU. Because in the market, we don't have other option right now. The highest configuration is GPUs only. Correct or not? That's also expensive. That's not a cheaper also. I hope you guys knows about the graphics cards. 30,000, 40,000. Idea on that? Ah, so that's what is happens. So we don't have an option. Which one we have it, we are using in the market. That's how NVIDIA is went up that much level. But for AI purpose, Google has come up with the solution called TP. So we are expecting by next year, we can see that on our laptops. We'll see that, how it is goes. So now, let's see this. This is the LLM. We are trying to understand it. What is that? How it is going to be works. Now, let's try to understand MCP, which is nothing but tools. What is that? MCP. Otherwise, we cannot build today the data analyst. Right? So what this MCP is going to do? Let's say example, there is an English speaker is there. Now, is able to understand by Germany speaker, Chinese, French, and Russian? No, it's very, very difficult. Now, let's say consider this is a one software, this is another software. Now, between these two softwares, we require a communication. We require a communication. That communication, we call it as API, application programming interface. This is what we were using up to now, means previously. Between the softwares, we have a APIs, application programming interface, where it is going to do what? Communicate between the two softwares. Clear, sir? So this is what is happening. Now, AI is totally different, means LLM is totally different. LLM is not a program. Please try to understand. LLM is not a program. LLM is the tokens. All are about the tokens. And it knows only one language. Which language? Natural language. It only knows what is the natural language. So, 1 second, guys. It knows only natural language. Now, from LLM to there is another software. Tools is nothing but softwares. Here, tools is nothing but for AI or computer's perspective, tools are nothing but we don't need to give any hardware components. Tools is nothing but another softwares. Another softwares. This natural language can't understand by the programmed software. Program software. So that's how what we require a mediator, middleware, where can able to communicate what the LLM saying in their language, in their API format. Because softwares are made by using what? Programs. Right? Programming languages, they have certain format when you're requesting. When it's responding is also coming, it is in the certain format. That format can't understand by the LLM, because LLM knows which language? Natural language. So that's how we required a middleware that we calling as translator. What is that? Translator. MCP is nothing but model context protocol. Model context protocol. So by using this translator, this model context protocol, right? Whatever this LLM is saying, converted into that API language. Whatever the format is expecting, it is going to be convert, and what is the response is coming, that will be converted into a natural language, give it to the LLM. Clear, sir? Clear? So this is a program. This is a program. You can write it by using a Python, by using a Node.js or JavaScript, whatever you like it. Right? In the market, you can able to write it. This translator. So situation to situation, software to software, we are going to have this MCP things. Clear? MCP, Model Context Protocol. This Model Context Protocol, we need to call it from where? Our Claude. From our Claude. Let's try to understand it. What has happened? So let's see this. What is the MCP? And then we'll go to this next, that one only. So what is an MCP? Here it is. There is a AI application need to communicate with the databases, GitHub, Gmail, local, Slack, web APIs, all are the softwares. Database is also a software. What software it is? DBMS, Database Management System. Correct, right? So all are softwares, all are used by using some programming languages, those are built. Now, this AI application to communicate with those softwares or tools or an applications, we required what? MCPs. We require the MCP. Every application is a different MCP. Not the same MCP will not work. It's not a unique or generalized because every application's input is a different, output is different. Correct, right? So that we can going to do by going to the MCP, Model Context Protocol. So generally protocol means, what is that? Language between the computers. A common language between the computers. Yes, the language have what? Rules and format. Rules and format. Otherwise, computers can't understand it. See, whatever I'm talking in English, how you're able to understanding? Because you're able to understand it. If you're not able to understand, it's a Chinese language for you. Correct, right? The same thing will happen in this. Right? So this is also protocol means a communication. Protocol is nothing but communication between the AI and another software. That you can achieve it by using the MCP. MCP means model context. Please try to understand the word is context protocol. Context means there is a meaning, irrespective with that software. Understood? So that is what. So I'm not going very depth. I hope you guys are understand. So I'm trying to give very high level to understand these terminologies because when I'm trying to building this a data analyst, I'm going to use all these things. Right? So our workflow is simple. This is what we are going to do. We are going to have a database called MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQLite, or any SQL DB. Let's say RDBMS. What is that? RDBMS. I hope you guys knows it. What is mean by RDBMS? Relational Database Management System, where the data is going to be stored in the form of tabular format. In the tabular format. Tabular means rows and columns. Understood, right? So this is the hallucination for you. This is a different type of hallucination for me. Understand, right? How the answers are coming for the same thing will happen with the LLM also. Now, this database, we are going to be use the MCP server. This MCP server, we are going to be use what? Python to bridge the data securely to give to which one? Cloud desktop. Everyone have a Cloud desktop? For this, we don't require. We don't need to any help from us. You guys can install it very easily. Correct, madam? Right? So by using the cloud desktop, what you can do, you can able to, right, get that and then generate what? Analytics dashboard by using what? React. Anyone knows what is a React? Library. It's not a framework. It's a library, JavaScript library to create a views, to create a views, right? So JavaScript is one of the, which one? Interactive language, which is going to be runs on the browsers, runs on the browsers. Means technically the outcome I'm calling as an artifact, this artifact in which form? A web-based interface. The outcome comes as a web-based interface. So when you have a web-based, can I share that URL with someone? That report, can I share with someone? No, I can't share it. Huh? When I have a URL with you, that URL, if I given the access to some XYZ persons, means in my organization, they can also see that. So what is the purpose of dashboard? What is the purpose of the dashboard? Sorry? To know the insights of the organization to whom? Management level. Management level people. So how they are going to access that? Right? So that's how here my plan here it is to generate a shareable. What is that? Shareable HTML page. So that's how I'm building a React as a dashboard. Understood, right? So when I build as a HTML React, a shareable, that is going to how you're going to share the web page through URL. Through URL. Means the outcome, whatever is coming. So generally in a AI operations, ML operations, dev operations, DevOps, ML ops, or AI ops, the outcome of a software or a process or a pipeline or AI, we call it as artifact. We call it as artifact. Artifact can be a file or a HTML file or a log file or a zip file or .exe file or .dmg or anything or an image or anything. The outcome of that software, when it's evaluated or when it's a run or it's created a build, what is going to come that we call it as artifact. Understood, right? On the either DevOps side, ML ops side, AI ops side, the terminology we call it as artifact. So that's how AI side, whatever the outcome will come from the AI agents, we call it as artifact. We call it as artifact. Hope you guys are understand this terminology. Clear? Everyone is understand up to now? Any questions? Any questions? Online, any questions, Amma? Shrujana, Rahul?
So far, fine.
Okay. Shanti?
No, sir.
Okay. అది ఎలా చదవాలో తెలియక కొద్దిగా టైం తీసుకొని చదివాను. Got it right? Good. So now let's see this. This is a pipeline, how this is going to be happens. Whatever I'm building the AI agent or analytical dashboard, how this is going to be happens in this. Please try to understand. So you can go there, say that how is the rental business? How is the rental business? I'm taking a secular database. You guys are already knows about it. Right? Secular. Sekila. Secular, not Shakila Kad. It's a Secular. So that's what I told you that. So who's are not completed a SQL may not be understand it. Okay, secular database in that is what is their major intention of the secular database, right? It's about the movie rental. Their business is movie rental. So here, how's the rental business? Now, when you ask the question, my skill, whatever the skill, I'm going to give it to the Claude. Claude, whatever it is, have LLM. Clouds have a LLM. It's a LLM provider. Claude is a LLM provider. ChatGPT is a LLM provider. LLM provider. That LLM, I'm giving the knowledge or memory. That memory I'm calling here it is skill. That skill is going to write what? SQL statement, SQL statement. Is going to be generate what? SQL statement. That SQL statement by using an MCP, by using the MCP tool, I'm trying to execute. I'm trying to execute. Once it is executed on where? Database called Sequila MySQL or any RDBMS like a PostgreSQL, SQL Server, Oracle, whichever you wanted by changing the type of RDBMS and connection credentials. That's it, right? On my MCP, local SQL MCP. That's how I'm not calling MySQL MCP. I'm calling as SQL MCP, right? Which database will support the SQL, right? All those databases you can able to connect it. Let's say for me, I have a local database with me. Cloud Desktop is a local. My localhost MySQL is also local with the Sequila. Now, whatever it is executed there, it is going to be normalized result. We'll receive the normalized result. This is everything is happens on MCP itself. This normalized data will give back into to who? Cloud LLM. That will going to be build what? Dashboard. It is going to be build a dashboard. Understand the pipeline, how it is going to be happens? Any question on this? All are happens automatic. All are going to happen automatic. That's why I use the word is pipeline. The pipeline is very, very simple here. When you ask the question on the Cloud Desktop, it is generate a SQL statement according to your SQL Sequila database. According to the Sequila database, because Sequila database have a tables and columns, right? So my Claude may not know about it. So that's how we are giving what? A skill. We are giving a skill on what? Sequila database. On Sequila database. We are training, we are giving a knowledge to this LLM about the Sequila database. That is the skill here. Today is a Sequila is an open source database. It's a sample database which is available. You know that in the market. Everyone we discussed. Correct, right? Adventures Works, Sequila, World, all are the available databases we taken from the market itself. Correct, right? So this one, right? So even it knows it because it's an open source data. So that's how it knows it. But let's say in a real time, your corporate company have an application, that application have a database. That database have a different tables and different columns. Correct, right? So for LLM, we are not giving a data. We are giving a meta information. Through this skill, we are giving the memory or meta information That using that meta information, it will going to generate the SQL. It's going to generate the SQL. What type of SQL? Read-only SQL. Please try to understand. What I'm trying to do that? Read-only SQL. Read-only SQL means which one? DQL. Read-only means DQL. So that will going to be executed on the MySQL server. Now it is going to be transformed into normalized result. That result, using that, it is going to be generate the dashboard. To whom? LLM. LLM is only going to generate a dashboard. Means here writing a React code. It is going to be write a React code. React plus HTML. Why? I'm not ranting, right? See, you need to understand one thing, right? Obviously, see, there is no Java, it's a JavaScript. So please understand, Java is different, JavaScript is different. Both are two different languages. Both are not the same, right? So what I'm saying here it is, see, React is very easy, right? So you don't need to be expertise on this. Based on that artifact view, what it is coming, when you see the preview of that artifact, you can tell that is a generated one is correct or not. That is not an issue. But for SQL, this is the most important. See, let's say your input is a correct, your HTML will become correct. Only colors issue or branding colors issue, right? That should be either left or right or this chart, that chart, this chart. Only changing that easily can do that. That is not a bigger problem. The problem is if your skill is not properly give it to this LLM, then the SQL is wrong. SQL generation will becomes a wrong. That SQL when is executed, execution error or syntax error. So most of the time when you go into the LLM, you can say that syntax error is less, but execution error is more if the skill is not properly created. Because it's hallucinated. It's going to say that if I'm not given to this skill, the meta information about my database, it's going to think, this is about the film rental. So then maybe these guys have this kind of a tables, this kind of a table, this kind of a table. In this table, this kind of a columns are there. Those table and columns, first, it will not be there in this. The name can be a different. Context might be the same, but name is a different, column names are different, right? So number of tables are different. Then what is happened? The execution will be fails. The execution is going to be the failed here. Understood, sir? Clear? Understand the flow? Okay. Let me first, before going on to this next level, let me show you one of the output how I created this by using the Secular. How the artifacts? Correct, right? It's have all the categories, film titles, right? And it's have a how's our rental business doing? So just the question is how our rental business doing. So based on it, it is trying to generate the KPIs. How much of revenue, how much of total rentals, active customers, average payment amount, right? And you can see the revenue, payments, how it is collected, top 10 film categories by revenue, and top 10 films by rental count. Automatically, this report has been generated. Right? My question is very simple here. How's our rental business doing? Build me an overview dashboard. Build me an overview dashboard. Headlines, KPIs plus monthly revenue trend. Monthly revenue trend plus revenue by category plus top films. Means when it's creating the dashboard, what it has to be, what type of KPIs has to be on the dashboard, I'm clearly mentioned in this. Correct or not? What I wanted, I told them. In a which language? Natural language. Perfect. It is a natural language. Then it's used the skill called Sequila-MySQL-Analytics, and it's generated a SQL statements using an MCP connection. It's executed on MySQL server, get the data. That data is converted into React code. This one, I can share it by simply using the share artifact. Now, if I click on this, it is going to be share and copy the link. It is going to be generate a URL. If I give it to my company owner, what is happened? Job is done. That's it. Right? So when I don't want it, I'm going to be unshare. Correct, right? Your market means a clothes, Anthropic, whatever cursors, right? OpenAI, ChatGPT, whatever we have it in the market, have those kind of abilities. Cloud have a better ability because they have a concept called which one? Artifact. They have an ability of artifact, shareable artifacts. What is that, sir? Shareable artifact. When you have a shareable artifact, what is happen? Our life is become easy. Whatever we are generating an output, we need to share someone. And also, Claude have another advantage. Whatever, see, generally what is happening with the chat GPT and the Gemini, you need to ask some question or attach a document. You need to attach a documents and ask the question. It is going to do that. That we call it as generative AI. That is not a AI agent. That we call it as generative AI. Based on whatever you are going to do, what you should do, it's maybe give the SQL statement. That's it. The job is done. But what is our pipeline here? When you ask the question, it has to generate a SQL. Generate a SQL has to execute, fetch the results. Based on the results, generate a dashboard. This one we call it as AI agent. We call it as AI agent. That's what I mentioned. Agent means planet and execute. Planet and execute. By using what? Memory, brain, which is nothing but LLM, and tools. Understood? Clear, guys? Online is clear? Online guys are clear? I don't know why only 2-3 people online. Weekend mode, huh? Or else it's a petty mode. Huh? Okay. Online guys also not responding. Okay, fine. Clear. Everyone is understand, right? Our aim is years too. And what is the pipeline is also understood, right? Anyone have any questions? Ask me. Even it's silly, also ask me.
Sir, you're saying that generative AI is going to answer the question basis the document attached.
Correct.
But when we say agentic AI, it is going to write the SQL basis the question asked, execute it, pull the data from the database, and find a result and display. So that's
Correct.
so the
It's
difference is
I
cloud can read the data and display the output. Generative AI has to be given the data every time when we need an answer to the question.
Yes, that's a generative. It's just generating something.
Okay.
LLMs are whatever you are doing, or ChatGPT or Claude, you're generating something from whatever you are giving a files. That's it is not
Okay.
performing any task. Agent means it has to perform some task,
Got it.
right? So that is the major. So that pipeline we are trying to be creating here.
Got
Mm.
it.
Yeah. Ask, sir.
Sir, I recently tried creating a dashboard using Cloud without giving any database, just by giving prompt. It gave me a HTML dashboard. In that case, what is the process?
That's hallucination. No? See, what you did, maybe you given Excel,
I did, I did not give you just
then it's a hallucinated data.
okay.
See, sir, I also can going to come and ask you, sir, could you create a dashboard? Sir, which dashboard? Let's say about some film dashboard or that dashboard. If I go, I'm not given any data with you. Now, whatever you have created a dashboard is the original real data.
Generally, gym workout weekly.
Gym workout or whatever it is. See, it is a generalized data. It's not a personalized data. Are you given any data? No. That data is executed anywhere. It went to any software. It's went to SQL or Excel or any APIs. It's called any third-party applications. Let's say you're calling about gym data. Let's say gym data is what it will have? Health, right? Right, how many workouts you did it, how much of calories you burn it. So maybe is the data is recording on their software, from there it is pulling the data? No. Correct, right? Let's say we have a smartwatches. All these smartwatches data will be where it is storing some apps, right? Or it's pulling the data from there using API. You need to pull it. How my LLM is going to get that data? It's required a API. It has to call the API. Agreed? So API means communication between the softwares. That can be any protocol set by using HTTP, HTTPS, WebSocket, MQTT, or WebRTC, any protocol. Understood, right? Protocol means any language. It can be any language. But for my LLM, you know that only it knows only one language, natural language. So that's how to call the APIs, I required an MCP. I required the MCP client. MCP client. Because this natural language converted into what the tool it has to ask, that tool will going to call the API. That tool going to call the API. Is it happening there? No. Then what is that? All are hallucinated data. Please try to understand. Hallucinated, that's what I'm telling. The starting what I said, hallucinate. All are assumption based. All are assumption based. But in AI said we use the word is hallucinate. My AI is hallucinating so much. People use this word. What does that means? It's assuming so much. It's assuming so much. It is not giving the deterministic results. It's not giving the deterministic results. Hope you guys are understand what I'm saying that. Let's say below there is a person is there. The person has to perform a task. You've given that all the requirement. Even though he is creating his, some of the things are with his hallucination or for his assumption. He's going to say, sir, I assumption. So that's how I created this. But is that client is expecting? No. Client expectation is different. So that's how in the meeting, what they'll do, so no, do this, do this, do this changes. I want this inside, this inside, this inside. Clear, right? So our job is to, whatever they are asking to do this. That is a deterministic output. So which one is more accurate? Deterministic or assumed result? Right. So by using an AI, what you're trying to achieve it, more accurate results. More accurate results mean more nearest task execution by using a AI agent. Understood, sir? Now, because again, I'll tell you one more thing. This LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, have an access to the internet also. Please try to understand. Internet is one of the MCP tool here. Internet is also one of the MCP tool. Let's say I'm going to select this GPT 5.5 or Opus some 3.x or 4.x, something I selected as a LLM. Right? So now whenever you typed it, even it does not know that where it will goes, internet. It's can think I'm thinking, cooking. There is a words will come. When it's generating an answer, it is going to say this, searching, cooking, thinking. Right? Means it's used as a tool called, which tool? Internet. It's ghosted work with the search engines. In the market, what we have a search engines? Google, Microsoft Bing, Yahoo, not Safari. Browsers are different, sir. Applications I'm talking. Search engines. Google is one of it. Firefox browser, sir. Yahoo, Microsoft Bing. Got the clarity? Search engines are different. Browsers are different. Search, where you can search. Right? So it is going to have a data, right? That data, it try to pull it up. That data, it is trying to pull it up and then try to create a hallucinated answer, means assumption answer, and show you that. That's how sometimes what you will see. See, what is this generating? Yeah. Some frustration will come. What I asked it, what it is generating. But people are saying, because of AI, lot of things are jobs. Okay, you coming jobs. First job na sir. Lot of things that people are doing. This AI is doing this thing. This AI doing this thing. People are saying, but for me, it is not working. Reason is hallucinated. When it does not know what it has to give, in which deterministic, what it has to do that for me, when it does not have a direction for AI agent, is a generation is also, or an output or artifact is also hallucinated one. Clear? Understood? This is what is happens in this. Hope you guys are understood. Clear? So for that, let me show you that. Hope you guys are seeing my screen. So first, we need to create a skill, and we should have an MCP, and we should have a which one? Database. When you have these three things, and when you have a cloud desktop, we're going to do that. So first, let's check it out. I have a database or not. Which one? Secular database. In Secular database, we have a actor, address, category, city, country, customers, fill in. Whenever we see this is a DQL statement will generate it, and then we can see the data, what it is contains here. Clear, right? That is the data. We can see that very clear. Now I have a data with me. On where? On my local MySQL server. This can be somewhere else on another remote computer, or that is a server, or whatever you can call it. Right? That's where somewhere else it is. I had a data, I had a tables also. Clear? Everyone is understood? Right. So what about this? Let's try to understand what the secular this is. So you guys are someone maybe knows it, some may not be know about it. Let's see this. Understand the meta information about this. What? ER diagram. ER diagram means entity relationship diagram about my database. About my database. Now I have a modules called customer data, inventory data, business data, then another category. This is not a data, it's a views, it's a different. So we have a three modules. What do we have? Three modules. Under customer data, we have a city table, country table, and address table and customer. Now, customer is associated with the address. But make sure that a customer have a single address only. Customer have a single address because under customer table, address ID in the same table itself. It's not in the another table. So that's how association is one to many. One address can belongs to multiple people. How it will be? My father, brother, sister, family members, mother, right? I can go there registered as a customer, as a family members, as a family customer members. I can register there. I can go there, get a movie, bring it my home and play it, watch it, return back that CD. Now there is no CDs and DVDs. In olden days, you guys are remember, right? We have a DVDs and CDs. Right? If I want to watch the movie in a summer holidays, I need to go to the DVD shop, get that movie for a rental basis. At the time is 10 rupees, 5 rupees, 20 rupees. Right? Based on the movies again. They'll give a 24 hours charge. Correct, right? So now you guys are in your modern language. If I say this, these guys are doing Prime guys. If you open this Amazon Prime, there is a movies called Rent. Or open your Play Store, there is also movies is a rent. If you open the YouTube, there is a movies for rent. Right? Once you buy it, you need to watch it within a 48 hours. Within a 48 hours. If you does not watch it, then it is going to be locked again. You can't say I didn't watch it. That will not going to be work for that. Same this. In my olden days means in my childhood, what is happening? If I get it that CD, doesn't matter you watch it or not. Within a 24 hours, you have to return back. Got it, right? The same thing is happening here, right? So now the address is associated with city, city is associated with the country. Now customers are associated with the rental. Rental is associated with the payment, right? So payment associated with the customer and store. They have a multiple stores. They have a multiple store. Store is associated with the inventory. Inventory is associated with the film. Inventory is associated with the film. Film is associated with the language for filtering purpose. Right? There is a racks was there in a music shops at that time. We have a art for audios also. We have a cassettes in my childhood. Now it is not there. Oh, you don't know? Okay. There is a cassettes will come.
This is interesting.
I know.
People, they can't visualize the cassette shop.
Yeah, that's how I'm also a little shocked. Right? So whenever the movie releases, audio release will function will be there. For that, cassettes will be released. We were going for especially districts for towns and get the in the first day to get the CDs are very, very difficult. We are traveling into the districts to get that like heroes movies. Like I'm a Mahesh Babu fan, and so I was traveling into Kadapa. So my rather than from my town, I'm traveling into Kadapa to get the Stakkaridonga. There is a movie sir came, Yuvaraju. Okay, the CDs are there same way. So there is a every store have a racks. So there is a language based, category based. They are going to be segregated. Same way here also in the data they have a language-based, category-based, actor-based. That film data has been associated. Right? We have all the data it is. Good. This is sufficient for an application. Application is generating a data that we are happening coming into here. Good. Now, this one we need to connect it with our cloud. We need to connect with our cloud. Cloud is a separate software. In a cloud, we have a LLM. Now, I need to make sure that cloud can connect with my MySQL server, which is the DBMS. That is another software. So that's how what is required? MCP is required. That's how we require a MCP. So that MCP has been written like this by using a library, Python library. That's Python library called FastMCP. You guys can see what is that? FastMCP. And there is another library called SQL Alchemy. What is that? SQL Alchemy. SQL Alchemy is going to give the ability to connect with the database. Connect with the database. FastMCP is able to give this connect with the Claude, or Claude can connect with the my Python script. My Python script. Right? So similarly, SQL Alchemy is going to have an ability to connect with my database by using the socket. The protocols are socket protocols. By using this, it is going to be connect the MySQL server and then execute the SQL statement and get the result to us. That's what is going to do by the SQL Alchemy. So this library, we call it as in a Python as ORM. We call it as ORM. So object relationship model. ORMDB. ORMDB mapper library. It will be work with MySQL, PostgreSQL, and Oracle, right? So all the RDBMS, it is going to be works. So that is what is happened by the MySQL. So that is how these are major libraries I'm using here to do that. And all these are like how to parse it and JSON data, how to convert it and everything. These are the helper functions has been created. So majorly there is a two tools has been. Let's say I'm registering as FastMCP as local SQL. The name can be anything. So FastMCP I'm initializing. So once it is initializing by using this object for function, right? So what is the function? Execute SQL and execute SQL health. These two functions I'm converting into which one? MCP tools. MCP tools by using this decorator. By using the decorator. In a Python side, right, the intention is convert a function into a MCP tool. When this Claude or LLM is trigger my MCP client to saying that execute the SQL, it's going to say that execute the SQL, then this function is going to be triggered. This function is going to be triggered. That is what going to do by this decorator. Decorator is nothing but superset of the functions. Superset of the functions. Functions are going to be subset of this decorators. Right? So generally, this you guys are seeing this kind of a behavior in the Flask, Fast API. So in this, we are trying to convert a Python function into a URL. Python function into a URL. Whenever, see, generally how you call the function? Function name, parenthesis. That's it. Correct, right? Function name with the parenthesis. That's where you are going to call it. But here, we are going to be call this function either through the URL or through the MCP protocol. Understood, right? What is happening, I'm telling? So when you wanted to call a function, call function name, parenthesis. That's what you're going to do within a Python. But this is an outside of it, right? Let's say if I wanted to, from a browser, when I hit to the URL, I need to call this function. So then I'm going to use the decorators. Right? For that, we have a fast API, Flask, and all the stuff. For LLMs means for Claude or such kind of AI agents to call these two means to call these function. We have a which one? Fast MCP library is going to be help us to convert it to give it to the LLM to execute this functions. Clear? In a natural language, it is going to send it as execute underscore SQL to try to execute it. It is going to call the function. Then this is going to be triggered. This is going to be triggered. In the response, it is going to be written as a JSON. And how it will be? By running the another sub function called run query. In a run query, because whenever it is called, it is going to give me the SQL statement also, whichever generated by my, which one? Cloud, LLM. The LLM will going to give me the SQL and which function it has to call. It is as a parameters, and that one we are going to be use it to execute by using some helper methods. Let's say, clear? So for this, I added a requirements.txt. In a requirements.txt, based on the databases, you can use for MySQL or MariaDB, PyMySQL. For PostgreSQL, you can use the PSY copy G, and PostgreSQL, there is another one is there, Amazon Redshift, SQL Alchemy Redshift is there, and Microsoft SQL Server, PY, ODBC, Oracle, we have a Oracle DB. So these are the dependency libraries we are going to be needed. These are the dependent libraries we needed to execute them. Understood, sir? So this is what it's added, and this is the majorly, right? So this we need to set up as an environment. Which one? Virtual environment. Because this function or a file has to run as an MCP, it is required some dependencies. So this dependencies versions may change frequently. So it should not affect on my global, means on my computer level. So that's how I need to create that isolated environment. What is that? Isolated environment. For that, I created .venv, virtual environment. So that's how it is going to be created by the Python inside of it. So generally, to create it, we have such a commands are there. Let's try to understand it. What are those? To create it virtual environment, what is the command? Python 3 or Python -n venv space virtual environment name. Let's say my virtual environment name is dev. Now it is going to be created this isolated environment inside of my folder. Now if I this enter, it is going to be created the dev. So previously I created .venv. Now I created this another virtual environment is dev. Now I need to step inside of this environment, install the dependencies what is required by this server.py. So for that, I'm going to be activated. So source dev bin activate. For Windows, it is going to be little different. Windows is // virtual environment dev / scripts / activate. So now here it is bin / activate. Now you guys can see here it is my environment has been activated. Now here I need to install all the dependencies. What I'm going to do? Pip install -r requirements.txt. Now you can see that all the dependency libraries, whichever I'm trying to use it, all are installed. To know that all are available or not, I can use the pip list. We can see that all those necessary libraries, whichever I'm using, all are installed here. Good. So now all are good. We have this one. There is another one is skill, MCP is ready. Let's say consider MCP is ready. Now we need to give it to my Claude LLM to the skill. Skill about what? About my Secular database. About Secular database. Based on whatever I'm asking, it has to convert it into SQL statement. That SQL statement will execute with the help of MCP, right? Which MCP it is asked to call. And once it is executed and based on a result, generate a dashboard. Means write a React and HTML page, right? So I need to tell how it has to behave. So that's how in a Claude to create any skill, first file, the file name should be skill, all are capital letters, all are capital letters, skill.md, skill.md. MD means not managing director. Huh? Sir, sorry. Sir, tell me, sir. Sir, we are very seriously, it's going on. Some jokes are needed. Tell me. Make directory. No, sir. MD means markup. Remember? Markup language. What is that? This is the markup language. Right? HTML, anyone heard about it? Ah, hypertext markup language. So MD is also one type of markup language. Suppose example, you added by using the hash. It's going to convert it into H1. It's going to convert it into H1. Let me try to show you this. Right. What is happening here? Right? The outcome, how it is changing, understood, sir? Secular, MySQL, Analytics, SQL only. Understood, sir? There is a table and everything. When you preview this, how it is going to look, understood, right? Right. So this is a kind of the people use it to write to most of it into the LLMs. So the data means the knowledge. In which way we will give? By using a .md. That file should be skill, skill.md. If the file was not there, it is going to throw the error. The file must and should be skill. So the name, we need to tell that what is the name of the skill. The name is Secular-MySQL-Analytics. The description about that skill, what it is, I just given that. This is the by using -- comments. Then it will going to pick it up by the Claude, understand it, what is the skill name. Now, we are trying to telling that what it has to do that and everything about the meta information are available under references. Under references, that is what? SQL underscore data underscore model.md. In this, we are trying to give about it what is the film table, what is the actors table, what is the category table, language table, inventory, stores, staff, customers, rentals, payments. And we are trying to say that make sure that you need to do read only. The SQL statement should be read only. You cannot perform data insertion. You cannot perform anything. Your role here it is to just read it. So very exclusively, the first point here itself saying that read only. So it has to generate either select or with select. The data is historical. So this is from 2005 to 2006, not now. Reason, if I'm not tell about it, because in my database, what is the minimum date and maximum date based on it, because it's a historical data. It's not the current running business. It's a old data, right? It's a running, I need to tell that it's a running business. I need to tell the running business means everyday data will be changes. I'm trying to give that context or knowledge to my skill. So here the data is historical, right? So which period also I'm trying to sing that, and also not now. By mistakenly, if you ask the question saying that, could you get me that how many films are there in my database up to now? Then you should need to consider between 2005 to 2006. It should not consider the current date because it is going to give a zero. It's going to give the zero. That's how we need to be very precisely, and we need to tell that what is our very minute. That's what we need to understand the data. Every data experts, we are telling this is the same thing. You are a AI person, right? Or data engineer or data analyst, data scientist. Without understanding the data, you cannot do anything. So here it is, that what here. So based on this, we are trying to giving some examples how it has to do that, and what is the MySQL date and time functions, like not like Redshift, how this has to be. I'm trying to telling that some samples the functions which one is available and what are the columns means. I'm trying to tell about in a MySQL is a little differentiation will be there compared to this other DBRMS or DBMS vendors. So that's how I'm trying to make sure that it should aware about it. What are the differences we have it? So that I'm just trying to communicating here. All are like, right, very simple. And I'm trying to explaining the tables from now onwards. So here by going each table. So payment table, what are the columns are there? What is the primary key it is, right? What is the associations we have it, right? What is the film catalog, right? Under film catalog, what is the table, film table? In this, what is the primary key? Each column, what is the data type and what is the description it is? All the meta information. I'm not giving the data. Please try to understand. For this skill, I'm trying to telling here it is very, very important. Otherwise, let's say if I know about my tables, based on a table, if the people ask the question or a problem statement, I'm going to write a SQL statement accordingly. Like how the humans will do this, LLMs also do the same thing. Right? The AI agents also do the same thing. To do that, I need to give that knowledge. I need to give the knowledge on the data. Right? So that's a very, very precise, very, very deterministic. The concept is deterministic. Right? So then we can see the more accurate. We can see the more accurate. So this is what. So hope you guys are understand. It's very lengthy. The file is very lengthy. Yes, we have to do that. It's one-time job. It's a one-time job, right? So even to work or start with in a real time, to start working with the SQL, first we need to understand the database. This is everyday understanding or one-time job? One-time job. Understanding the database or existing database is a one-time job. That based on it, every day we need to write a SQL statement. Every day you're learning, every day you're writing means that is never ending story. Right? So that's the same thing here. It's also the skill is you need to make it like this. It's a one-time job. It's a one-time. Right? So that's how I'm trying to give more information about it, what it is, and everything is very clearly with an examples. With the example. See, it's almost like a 400 lines. Only which file? SQL data file. And after that, I given this, there is a file called dashboard. Right? How the dashboard has to be. Almost I give written the 700 lines. When you go through this 700 lines, get into it, how to JavaScript has to be, how it has to be, how the result has to convert it as a card, how it has to drop down, all the patterns given with the examples. Given with the examples. Understood, right? And what is the logo it has to, because whenever we say a presentation is the most important, the branding is the most important. We call it as business context. We call it as business context. When you are representing a company, your insights, dashboards, models, AI agents, all are talk in that company name perspective only. Your address is that company, not your home, because you are representing the company, right? So the context is the most important. Business context is the most important. So that's how we added in the logo also. We added the logo. The logo, how is a simple logo has been given, in where it has to be, how it has to render, everything has been given. So now that we are trying to explaining here, try to go to the SQL data model and then how it has to execute it, how you need to call this MCP, and which MCP, in the MCP, which tool you need to call it, the function name. Function name is execute underscore SQL, right? We are trying to giving all the stuff. When you're calling this, what you need to pass, you need to pass the SQL statement and max underscore rows. All the knowledge we are trying to giving in this. And as well as what we are trying to say, that data model, try to get it that. And what is the workflow? Trying to step one, decide a single query or multi-query. Now, this is the most interesting part, how it has to be works, right? First, based on a prompt, you require a single query or multiple queries you need to generate, right? That we are trying to giving that. Examples, we are kind of information. Now, step in 1A, plan and announce the decomposition. If it's a multi-query only. If you're performing a multi-query, then first announce it. Show me on the where Claude chart interface, right? For what you're creating, for what insights you're creating a multiple SQL statements. That's what. Plan and announce. Plan and announce. And next, rules for the plan. Rules for the plan. When you're planning, how the rules has to be. Next, step 2, call the execute either once or parallel. If you have a more than multi queries are there, try to execute one after another. No, that is a wrong. What you need to do? Parallelly. To make this execution is faster. Make this execution is faster. And if it's a single query, make it as once. Next, what step 3? Extract the data from the response, from each call. From each call. Correct, right? If it's a single call or multiple call. If it's a multiple queries, multiple execute underscore SQL. If it's a single query, single. So that's how for each call, we're going to have a response. The response is going to be in this format. We are telling into this LLM, we are giving the knowledge. We have to tell the response is going to be in which format. So based on this format, how to make them flatten, how to make them flatten, extract it, which row of the rows will come, how the data format will come. So if it is an error, how do you need to handle? Then normalize the result into row objects. Once you normalize it, next in that detect any data shape or preparation for charting, anything is there, you can do that. Otherwise, what is that? Build a interactive dashboard artifact. This is the workflow. This is the workflow definition. So while you're building how it has to be, so as generated as a .jsx, right? When you're building, you need to use the dashboard patterns. There is a separate file called dashboard underscore patterns.md. You can able to single query case. Another one is multi-query case. Please try to understand. This is a 3 hash. This is the 4 hash. This is going to be inside of this step 4. This is a markup language. right? Hashes, level 1, level 2, level 3, hierarchy, right? So according to the single query case, how it has to be, multi case, how the dashboard has to be, then required structure, how it has to be, everything has been defined it, and then tell you that with the examples, and multi query how it has been, that's it. Understood? Finally, what is this skill is not for, this is the most important, the skill is only for read only, not perform the insert, update, delete, drop. So we need to be very, very clarity. So that's what we are trying to giving the same thing and then again and again and again. What are the references we have? Each reference, what it is, trying to tell this very need. So what are the edge cases? What is that? What are the edge cases? All the knowledge has been given by using what? Through this skill. Through this skill. Now what you need to do? You need to zip this. Right? So go back into here. So select this, compress it, and create it, and then go back here, customize. What is that? Customize. There is a skills. In the skills, select the plus, and what you can do, browser skills, or else create a skill by uploading a. Once you upload it, it will going to come like this. Understood? This skill file, skill.md, dashboard patterns, secular logo, and secular data model. It is going to be appears like this. Now the skill is an active. Skill is an active. The next thing is our MCP connection. Our MCP connection. See here, from my desktop perspective, I need to be connect which one? Local SQL MCP. Local SQL MCP. So this one, I need to add it here. How can I add it? By clicking on the plus. Now here, sir, if I click on it, it's showing me this outside applications. Third-party applications, it's showing me. But which is running on my local, it is not showing me. So that's how you need to go to this, your settings. There is a developer. What is that? Developer. When you click on this, there you can find out the local MCP servers. Local MCP servers. There you can click on edit config. There is a file will be there. Claude underscore desktop underscore config.json. Right? In this file, what we need to do, we need to give it as the our under MCP servers, what we need to give? Local SQL MCP. In this, the command, which command? Python command. What is the Python path? Right? It is comes under MySQL MCP, my virtual environment, .venv and bin Python. The isolated environment, which one I created, I'm going to give that Python path. And by using this path, what is that? Arguments I need to pass it. So generally to execute any Python file, Python space server.py. That's right. To execute any Python file, what is the command? Python space filename.py. Correct? Now that file, second argument, Python. Python is, this is my first command by giving to the entire path. Now this one is going to be converted like this. The command is going to be like this. Right? So up to this is a Python path, and this is up to my file path. File path, because it does not know, my Claude does not know where it is located. Correct, right? If I'm running from my VS Code or some places, I know my current working directory. From that current working directory, the file is going to be executed. But cloud is not like that. So in this scenario, we need to give the path. Under the arguments, we given for which file? Server.py. Server.py. In this environment, what are the required dependencies for server.py? We are already installed it. By using which one? Requirements.txt. Right? So we are passing this some environment variables. What is that? Database connection. What is that? Database connection. For that, we require a database URI. The database URI format is MySQL plus py MySQL, the username, password, @ server host, which is in my local. If it is a remote, you are going to keep the remote IP address, right? :3306, which is nothing but port number /Sekila. Sekila is the database name. Sekila is the database name. Understanding, sir? That's what I told every time. Connection is important. Connection is important. But you guys never care about it. Hey, reason is, whenever you go there in the first time working in a real time, first thing is what you need to do? You need to connect the database. You need to connect the database. How you're going to connect it? Hey, no, sir. I'll ask you Google or ChatGPT. Correct, right? So that is a problem. So that's what I'm telling. Clear, sir? That's how we need to be understand about the computers, protocols, URIs, URL. What is that? Little bit basics. All are basics only. Right? So that's what. And I'm trying to saying that don't consider such so many rows. Maximum rows consider as 5,000 because the performance issue. What is that? Performance. It's a local computer. It does not have a huge infrastructure to execute. This is not a cloud. Cloud means which is in the sky. Huh? What is meant by cloud? Whenever it is required, scale up and scale down. Scale up or scale down. Which one is going to scale up? Sir, what it is going to scale up, sir? Storage. Only storage it's going to scale up. Compute. Compute. Right? Computational power. What is that? What are those 4 parameters for computational power? Memory means storage. Processor. RAM. CPU and processor kada. RAM. Bandwidth. Internet bandwidth. So we have an unlimited feature in our mobiles, but still the data centers are following the FUP limit. What is FUP? Fair usage policy. Fair usage policy, which is going to give by the ISPs. What is ISPs? Who's our internet service providers? Airtel, ACT, Jio, right? So previously, let's say, I think before Jio, every internet have a FUP limit. After Jio, everything is unlimited concept. Even in your prepaid, there is a 1.5 GB is there per day. After that, internet still will come, but it's a slower. Understood? So that's a reason. See, I'm not running this one on the cloud. The cloud, if it is needed, automatically it scale it up my compute power, means processor, right? RAM and everything, because that will be make my execution is faster. Correct, right? So, but here I don't have that much memory. So that's how whenever I'm running on my local, make sure that work with the 5,000, 10,000, or max I can work with the 1 million rows because mine is a 32 GB, 32 GB only. RAM size is 32 GB, my laptop. So 32 GB means approximately I can handle because other software is also running. So that's how I can allocate for databases. Maximum is 8 GB. So that's a 1 million. I can run up to 1 million rows without any, which one? Slowness, right? Without have any interrupt, I can make very quickly process it 1 million rows up to on my local computer. So that's how I'll always prefer that way too. Whenever the data processing happening, either try to do the chunk basis or limit basis. So that's how I kept it this one more extra variable for me, environment variable for my server.py. It is going to be take these values wherever it is required. It is going to be apply the limit. Wherever required, that is apply the limit on my Python code. So that I can able to control it from here. Once I save this config JSON, we need to restart this Claude by closing and reopen. You can come back under this developers. You guys can see this local SQL MCP is running or not. Is running or not. What is the command and arguments and what are the logs, right? The logs also we can able to see what is happening and everything. And also we can see this advanced options. What are the environment variables we given, database URL and SQL max rows, everything we can see that. Whatever we define in the JSON, it is coming directly. The cloud desktop, they are not giving the ability of by generating this JSON using the UI. Someone's are giving the UI, someone's are not going to give the UI. So that I hope you guys are understood. So that's where we can able to see this. Once it's running, we are ready. We have a skill is there, we have a MCP is there, we have a database is there. Now simply goes to back, right? So close this and start the new conversation here. Take any prompt or question here. Have some questions are created. Let's take this. Give me this. Before that, I need to select the skill. The skill is I have because I have so many skills in mind. So that's how should not get confused when it's working. So that's how I'm using this Secular MySQL Analytics. Now let me try to paste the question. Give me a 2005 revenue dashboard. In that, which has to total revenue, monthly trend, and breakdowns by film category and store. Right? So before going that, I need to verify that my local MCP is connected or not. Again, by clicking on the plus, there is an option called connectors. Inside a connectors, what we have? Local SQL MCP. It is what? Enabled. Means it's a running. Right? So those are mine, leave it. So now if I click on this, send it. Now see this, it is going to think about it, reading the Secular MySQL Analytics skill before any queries generating. It's trying to make it herself, means that make self like making that knowledge, gaining the knowledge from skill. So running the truncated middle of it and then dashboard guidance, how it has step 2 and 3 and listing the skills reference directories and reading the Secular SQL data model, reading the truncated part means it's a continuation, a step by step it is happening. Reading the dashboard patterns, how it has to be. Reading this, all the stuff, how the, again, still continuing designing patterns means dashboard pattern. Logo is also understood. The brand where it has to be in the header, everything. So now it's making by itself as a knowledgeable by reading through this skill. Now, good, see here. Column ordering, how the strategic column order has to be there, how the payment metrics, everything. You need to understand what is doing that every step. Understood? So by itself, whatever I given the skill, right? The skill will be load on every conversation. Every conversation. So hope you guys are understand conversation. Whenever you start the conversation, this skill will be loaded. But next onwards, this skill no need to load it because it knows entire thing on that particular conversation. Orchestrating this parallel SQL queries, how it has to executing and how it has to generating, everything is happening. And finding the tools is local SQL MCP, execute underscore SQL. Tool confirmed is the generic SQL server, and whatever you can see this. Here is the plan. Headline KPIs, monthly revenue trend, revenue film category, revenue by store. So running this now, you guys can see this. Execute a SQL health, right? And trying to generate a SQL statement, select count amount, count star, and all those things. It's generated between the 2005-01-01 and 2006-01-01, and that's the response has been written with the columns and what is the rows. The data has been received. Means every SQL statement, if you guys have seen this, it is sent it to this MCP and then it is executing and return back with the response. Now looking the query results, I got the key metrics. It's got all the information it is needed because normalized data. Now it is making the normalized. My AI data analyst is normalizing the data which is received from the MCP. Now looks like everything going good. Right. It's hallucinating now. Good. Writing the component, the file. See, still is normalizing the data because it's a multi-section dashboard. It's planning. So how it has to be rendered that normalized data inside of the dashboard. So it's thinking about this to give this a filters inside. So synthesized means the query results and all the stuff, all the steps it's going to show that how it is working. The same way how the humans has to work, the steps the same way it will going to be work. Then only answer will come correctly. Now it started working on to the React dashboard. So if you want, if you expand it, you can see this started writing that all the React code. It's writing that all the JavaScript code by itself. So hope you guys are understanding this. The how the humans has to write it. This is also going to be write the same way, including with the styles and everything. So max it's going to take like 3 to 4 minutes. This is a AI trace back. We call it as AI trace. So what the AI is doing, we are trying to understanding by going through this expansion of those steps. Now everything is almost done. Now it started rendering that dashboard. That's it. This is what you guys can say it very clearly. Right, so you can see this, right? So, and the category store 1 and store 2, 2005 revenue model, and what is the monthly trend, and revenue by film category, and revenue by store, and we can see that very clear. That's it. This is the what you can see this. Clear, sir? So now, whatever you need to build it by using the Power BI or which one? Tableau, right? Looker, right? That you can do by using this. Which one? Database, LLM, skill. What is that? React. What is that? React. By using this, which is going to build it by Claude here, very clear. So you need to understand one thing here. I'm not given the data. I given only the results. I'm not giving the entire data access to my database, to my AI. I just given this knowledge about my schema information or meta information. Right? When I give this meta information, how the humans have that about the database, how they can write a SQL, my AI is also write the same way. That by using an MCP, I'm able to execute it, right? And whatever the generate result, only I given back into this, which one? LLM. There they use this sub agent call, which one? Writer agent. We call it as writer agent. So the Claude have inbuilt it with multiple. So that's how once the results is come back, as per our workflow, we mentioned the workflow in our skill very clearly, ask them to based on it, try to generate a React dashboard by using the dashboard pattern with the logo that we given under the references under the skill. Now based on it, it is generated and written a code. Now I can able to share with anyone this artifact. Clear online? Online is clear?
Yes, sir.
Why everyone is silent? Right? But this also like lengthy, right? Setuping MCP, having a Python code, right? Writing a skill. To write this skill, it's going to take at least 1.5 week. All the files you need to write it right. Correct, right? You need to write it, right? That someone has to do that. But it's a one-time job. It's a one-time job. Once you return this, what is happens? Done. Everything is the same only, sir. But what is happened this one? Less coding and write a more documentation. That's it, sir. So documentation, which is nothing but knowledge. Give the knowledge to the LLM. Clear? So that is also in a correct. It will comes under prompt engineering. When you're trying to creating the skill, how it has to create the skill, every word is so much important. right? How the workflow is needed or not, how it has to be, which word it has to be used. Is this word understand by LLM or not? How much hallucinated will happens? Means how much it is assumed. The assumed one is correct or not. 100% is accurate or not. So this comes under prompt engineering and all the stuff. Hope you guys are understood today's session. Clear online? Rahul, Srijana, Shanti.
Got an overview how things will happen.
Yes, sir.
So we saw the final movie. Now I know how the movie will be created.
Movie is final climax is good, but only the thing is the behind it is difficult.
Yeah.
So don't worry. We're going to share the zip file, everyone. That Python code and the skill. So you guys also can try it out on your cloud accounts. Right? Don't ask me if you say this, tokens are exceeded. Right? So tokens are exceeded, pay the money, get those tokens. Clear? I hope you know that, right? That cloud usage, if it's exceeded free under free account, you'll say or not. Tokens are exceeded, you need to upgrade it or wait for up to some date to reset your tokens. Correct, right? It will say that, right? So if it is come, don't send a message. Sir, what I need to do? Is a simple thing is either if you wanted to, you don't have a money, wait up to reset, or you can just upgrade it into by paying 2000 rupees plus GST per month. Right? One time. It's a one time. But when you started paying that, please make sure that that 1 month don't use for what is this, give me this answer, give me this answer. Learn it, how the cloud is working inside, what are the features are there, those features, how I can use it. Do the experiments, do the experiments. Then putting a 2000 rupees or spending a 2000 rupees is a worth. Is a worth. Otherwise, sir, I added a 2000 rupees. I didn't practice. 1 month is okay. The guy not going to give him money. Hope you guys knows it. Correct, right? Again, it is asked you the this thing. So if you wanted, see, I'll suggest you at least take once when you are ready. When you are ready. In that month, don't put all your aviations like don't spend some with you have that work, this work, that work. I need to go with my girlfriend. I need to go this way. Don't do tell all this stuff. You need to very dedicatedly use those because you're spending a 2000 rupees with the cloud. So try to understand every feature inside of what we have it. Every feature you need to test it out. You need to experiment. You need to experiment with the available tools. That is a learning. That is a learn. If you have any doubts in this process, you can message us on the group. I can help you, right? So because I'm very good with this AI agents and all this stuff. So I can build it my own agents without using a cloud also. I did that much research. So I have full knowledge on this. So if you need any help on this, accept the payment. So remaining any help on this, how to use this, how to execute it, how to make this, not only the dashboard, for data science perspective. So when I give this data, it has to come the another model. Another model. This model, I need to share it with an artifact again. Hope you guys are understood. Right? Model, we need to convert it into form. The people enter the value, it is going to be predict. Correct, right? It has to predict, right? So that feature, either API or by using the web interface, something, all the stuff you can achieve it by going to the cloud. But only the thing is corporates will say that they will do this now, not IT audit, the people going to say that AI audit. In AI audit process, the people going to do very simple thing here. the data, how much level of data you are sharing with the LLM. Because these LLMs are not running on their environment. These LLMs are running on their third party. So using this data, they are also training in the background. So that's how the companies are very, very strict on this. The policy is their AI policy. You can use it. They are forcing to use the cloud. But the problem here is how much level of data is protecting or sharing. So that is a special audit. They're going to do that on everyone's accounts. So that's how that you guys can learn it once you step inside of the organization. But hope you guys are understand what is the process. Clear? So if you have any doubts when you're doing, you can just message us. I can help. Thank you and happy weekend.